All right, good night, good night, good night. Happy Saturday. Welcome, one and all, to us another Sports Frenzy podcast. As you see me here, I am your host, and you must be wondering why we have so many persons here. But as you know, we have our debate, Michael Jordan, LeBron James debate, and we have our judges with us. So let me just introduce the debaters real quick. Up top, we have Mr. Vincent Irvin, who will be representing Michael Jordan in this debate. Hi, Vincent. And then, down the base, we have Mr. Lord Zidane, who said he's the greatest basketball. He has the greatest basketball knowledge of anyone, and he will tear this debate apart. So, welcome, Zidane. How are you doing, boss?
Good evening. I'm doing good. Good evening to the viewers, and good evening to the judges and my opponent.
All right. So let me go ahead and introduce the judges. To upper right, we have Miguel Speedy. I show you wave. All right, thank you, boss. You guys know Cream already from our podcast each and every Saturday. So Cream is here as one of the judges. We have Mr. All-Rounder Devin playing the judge role today.
Brooklyn in the house.
All right. We have Mr. Pretty Boy VJ, Mr. Boston Celtic, and down the base we have Mr. Teal. This man remind me of Jason with the stats. This man know basketball. This man eat, breathe, and sleep basketball. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So we're about to go ahead. We're going to start with Zidane, of course. So we're going to put the judges backstage so they could listen to the debate. And then we're going to start with Zidane, and he will tell us his opening statement as to why he believes that LeBron James is indeed the greatest basketball player of all time. So Zidane, the floor is yours, boss.
All right. Thank you very much. And glad to be here again. Well, glad to be here for the first time. And again, good night to the viewers, good night to the judges, and good night to my opponent. So, basketball. LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Who is the greater basketball of the two? Because who's the greatest of all time, but it's between the two of them. So it is who is the greater of the two at playing basketball. Now, in basketball, you have to be able to do many different things to determine how great of a basketball player you are. That includes putting the ball in the basket efficiently, rebounding, assisting, blocks, steals, all of that. If you combine all of those facets of the game, then LeBron James has to be greater than Michael Jordan. LeBron James' shooting percentage is better than Michael Jordan. LeBron James is a better passer than Michael Jordan. He's a better rebounder than Michael Jordan. He's better at blocking shots than Michael Jordan. The only statistical category of the main ones that Michael Jordan is great at is stealing the basketball. And I think the reason for that is because he plays in the backcourt, and usually guards, point guards, they steal more. But all round in terms of how you impact the game, then LeBron James has to be seen as greater. Let's give an example. Michael Jordan retired from basketball for the first time in the mid-90s. The Chicago Bulls lost let me repeat, Chicago Bulls lost 2 fewer games when Michael Jordan retired. So Michael Jordan is the second greatest player of all time. You add him to that team, yes, they're a championship team. They won the championship. But when he left, they still competed. They lost in the conference semifinals to the New York Knicks, who eventually went to the finals from the East by a bogus call. So that team without Michael Jordan was able to compete for a championship. That's how good they were. LeBron James, when he left Cleveland in 2009, he left a team with the best. He had the best record in basketball with Cleveland in the 2008-2009 season. When LeBron James left Cleveland, they won 19 games. They fell from 61 wins to 19 when LeBron James left. LeBron James was the only significant player that left that team. That's how great his impact all around is. So LeBron Ramon James has to be seen as the greater player of the two. I know you win championship based on how far your teammates take. It's 5-on-5. But if you're taking 4 other people from anywhere, you don't know how good they are, you don't know their ability, and you want them to walk to play for you. You want them to play anywhere for you. You don't know their ability. You have to take LeBron James because he's greater. He can do more to impact the basketball game. And that's a clear indication that LeBron Ramon James impact basketball game. Let me repeat, a lot of people don't know this. When Jordan left, Chicago lost 2 fewer games. When LeBron left Cleveland, they lost 40-something games. That's how great the impact of LeBron James is on the basketball game. That's it.
All right, thank you very much, Zidane, for that opening statement. Now, Mr. Vincent, it is now your time to give us your opening statement.
Good afternoon, my opponent, judges, and ladies and gentlemen. The debate for basketball in terms of who is the greater of all time or the greatest player of all time has been going on for some time now. And part of that reason is what measurement is being used to determine who is the greatest player. If we were using championship, without a doubt, Bill Russell, we wouldn't be here arguing. If we were using statistics, Will Chamberlain, we wouldn't be here arguing because probably has the greatest statistics in the league. I want to put forward this evening 6 criteria that I believe can be used in any sport, not just basketball, any sport, to determine who is the greatest player. 1 criteria is longevity, championship. The 3rd is accomplishment, awards, honors. The 4th is statistics. The 5th is impact, eye test, /eye test. And the last is tenacity. And I'm not putting them in any order, so I'm just going to go through them, right? And then we're going to see which player stands up in each. When we look at longevity, LeBron James has played 19 seasons. Michael Jordan, 15 seasons. But in terms of peak years, Michael Jordan would have only had about 10 peak years. LeBron James is going almost 17 peak years out of his 19 season. So without a doubt, you give that to LeBron James in terms of longevity. When we look at championship, Michael Jordan has won 6, LeBron James 4. Michael Jordan has converted 100% of the championship that he's in. LeBron James 40%, 6 out of 10. In terms of the season, Michael Jordan 6 out of 15, 40%. LeBron James 4 out of 18 so far, 22%. When you look at records in the final, Michael Jordan 24 and 11, LeBron James 22 and 33. I don't think we need to go any further. Michael Jordan definitely is the lead. When you look at accomplishments and you're playing the game, what is the accomplishment of you playing the game? NBA title, Michael Jordan 6, LeBron James 4. Finals MVP, Michael Jordan 6, LeBron James 4. League MVP, Michael Jordan 5, LeBron James 4. Defensive Player of the Year, Michael Jordan 1, LeBron James none. The Rookie of the Year, Michael Jordan 1, LeBron James 1. Those are the main awards given out by the NBA. Michael Jordan has 19 of them. LeBron James has 13 of them in his 19th season. And there is no other player that has played basketball that has won as much award as Michael Jordan. Kareem is the second highest with about 16. If you look at further awards and decoration that the NBA hands out, in terms of leading the league in scoring, Michael Jordan 10, LeBron 1. Lead the league in assists, LeBron James 1, Michael Jordan has not done that. Lead the league in steal, Michael Jordan 3, LeBron James none. All defensive team as a defensive player, Michael Jordan 9 out of 15, LeBron James 6 out of 19. I rest my case that an honors and award, Michael Jordan has far greater accomplishment than LeBron James. When you go to statistics, and we go 4th thing that we want to look at is statistics. There are 8 traditional statistics that the leagues keep. Points, assists, rebound, steals, blocks, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, and turnovers. In points, Michael Jordan 30.1, LeBron James 27.4. Assists, Michael Jordan 5.3, James 7.4. Rebound, Michael Jordan 6.2, James 7.5. Steal, Michael Jordan 2.3, LeBron James 1.6. Blocks per game, Michael Jordan 0.88, LeBron James 0.80. My opponent says that LeBron James leading block. Come on. When you look at field goal percentage, LeBron James 50.5, Michael Jordan 59.7. Free throw, Michael Jordan 88.5, LeBron James 73. Turnovers, Michael Jordan 2.7 per game and LeBron James 3.5. Ladies and gentlemen, out of the 8 traditional statistics, Michael Jordan leads LeBron James in 5 of them. They are what we call advanced statistics in basketball, and one of them is the player efficiency rating. And this is when they take the traditional statistics and they sum up the positives and they look at the negative statistics such as foul, turnovers, and all of that, and they subtract it from it, and then they give the player an efficiency rating. When you look at PER in terms of advanced statistics for efficiency rating, Michael Jordan leads LeBron James in all of the categories. In leading the league 7 times to 6, in top 3, in regular season, in playoff, Michael Jordan have the highest PER of any player ever in basketball. There is another statistics named win share. Michael Jordan again leads LeBron in every statistic. There's another named box plus minus. Michael Jordan leads LeBron James in all of that. Then there is valuable replacement player. Michael Jordan again leads LeBron in all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, of this 9 greatest individual regular season the game has ever seen, Michael Jordan has 6 of them to LeBron James 2. How do you say LeBron have a greater impact? I rest my case with statistics on Michael Jordan. When you look at impact, Michael Jordan, and we're looking at impact eye test, he has been the best offensive player in the game, the best defensive player in the game, because he even won defensive player of the game. LeBron James has never done that. So when you look at just the eye test alone, he's better at mid-range game, better at post-up game, better at shooting than LeBron James is. Without a doubt, in terms of two-way, offense or defense, Michael Jordan lead. When you look at tenacity, and this
30 seconds.
this is the one that speaks to the fact that as a player, when things get tough, what do you do? We have seen LeBron James melt down on the greatest stage of NBA in the NBA Finals in 2011. We also saw him in 2007 where he did not perform up to optimum. So ladies and gentlemen, when you look at all of these criteria, it is clear Michael Jordan has lead LeBron James in 5 of these criteria to LeBron James 1. Without a doubt, Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player the game has ever seen. I rest my case.
All right, Vincent, thank you so much for that opening statement. Now, Zidane, it is now your time. You have 3 minutes to go ahead and rebut everything that Mr. Vincent has put forward to you, boss. Go ahead.
Judges, I know you're intelligent. We're discussing LeBron James versus Michael Jordan, who is the greater basketball player. I heard my opponent talk about 6 championships. He leads LeBron James in 6 championships. The Chicago Bulls won 6 championships, not Michael Jordan. But because before Scottie Pippen, a Hall of Famer, he didn't win any championship. It means teams win championship. We're not discussing who won more championship. That's what you pointed out to us. You talk about Defensive Player of the Year awards. People vote. That is given to you. That is not earned. What you earn on the basketball court is what you can control. Your ability to score, your ability to block, your ability to steal, your ability to rebound. That's what you as the individual player controls. And when you look at all of those categories combined, LeBron James does that at a greater level than Michael Jordan. So telling us about how many wins Michael Jordan has in the NBA Finals is just a very low IQ way to look at how you judge a player. The Chicago Bulls won those games. Not Michael Jordan is a part of a team. We're not discussing who played on a better team or who they were to team. And remember, as I pointed out before, when Michael Jordan left his team, they won 2 fewer lesser games. It means he had a great team relative to the other people who was playing against. When LeBron James left his team, they won 19 games. They left from the best record to 19 games. How do you expect that man to go 6-0 in an NBA Finals, that team that he left? And they only won 19 games. So to judge a player based on a team achievement is flawed because we don't think Bill Russell is the greatest player of all time. He has won the most rings. So that is a flawed way to look at it. I'm talking about who win more MVPs. MVPs is given by people who are emotional like you, Vincent. Because you would have given Michael Jordan 40 MVPs, even though he doesn't deserve all of them. So don't tell me about who won MVP, that those awards are given. Tell me about who has the most points in the playoffs. LeBron James. Who has more rebounds in the playoffs? LeBron James. Who has more steals in the playoffs? LeBron James. Who has more blocks in the playoffs? LeBron James. LeBron James, as a basketball player, and you're talking about regular season, the playoffs is where the defense is at its best. The playoffs is where the intensity is at. You talk about meltdown. In elimination games, Vincent, LeBron Ramon James averaged 33 points per game in the highest pressure games. Michael Jordan averages 31 in elimination game. So when the pressure is at its highest, if you lose, you go home. Michael Jordan is generally a better scorer than LeBron James, is now not a better scorer than LeBron James. So LeBron James does better scoring-wise, and that's Michael Jordan thing, scoring. But in elimination games, means if you lose, you go out. LeBron Ramon James averaged 33 points per game to Michael Jordan 31, shooting a higher field goal percentage. So in big games, LeBron James is better. You're talking about walk-off shots. LeBron James, in 2018 alone in the playoffs, he had 3 walk-off shots. Michael Jordan, in his career, didn't have so many, and LeBron James did it in 1 playoff. LeBron Ramon James is the most dominant player performance of that. He has been doing it for longer. It is
all right, Zidane. All right, Zidane. That is your 3 minutes. Thank you. Vincent, now I'll go ahead and give you your 3 minutes to go ahead and rebut what Mr. Zidane is saying to you. Your 3 minutes, Vincent, starts right now.
All right, let me start quickly with what Zidane said. Even if you take away the team championship, Michael Jordan is still 13 to LeBron James 9. So that doesn't hold water. Those are individual awards that is given. In every single sport, individual awards is given out. Individual awards is given out based on how a player performs and what a player does. So to say that awards, and because people vote for them, they are not worth anything, is really, there is no sport that individual award is not given out in. So I'm not sure what Zidane is here saying when that is what people play. And Herman Edwards from NFL says, we play to win the game. So if you are not playing to win the game and playing to put up statistics, then what are you playing for? All right. Just to go to one of the things that my opponent said. He talked about LeBron James being better in the game, both offensively and defensively than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has made 9 first-team defensive. LeBron James has made 6 out of the 19 seasons that he has played. You understand? Michael Jordan has won the Defensive Player of the Year. LeBron James has never done that. Right? We go again and he talk about field goal percentage efficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a statistics. Yes, LeBron James, as I have pointed out, in terms of overall field goal percentage, is about 50.5 to Michael Jordan 49.7. LeBron James between 0 and 3 feet to the basketball shoots 73%. Between 3 feet and outward from the basketball, he shoots 37%. Michael Jordan shoots almost 50%, irrespective of where he is on the basketball floor. So even that statistics, even though, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fellow we have a few fellow who are high up there in terms of basketball shooting that are centers, and they are centers and they shoot high percentage because they shoot layups and they shoot putbacks. That's what LeBron James do. Go to the rim, shoot layups and putback. So when you're talking about shooting, no day can LeBron James walk in Michael Jordan shoes, as the statistics will show. My fellow opponent also talked about team. And he mentioned team, but then says that it is team don't win you what you want. Michael Jordan leave the Chicago Bulls in 1993. The Bulls win, he said 2 less. What he hasn't said to you is that when Michael Jordan leave, Scottie Pippen was there, who is a top 50 player. Also, the Bulls got Tony Kukoc that same year, who was playing overseas and one of the best overseas players, who went on to have an Hall of Fame career. So he joined the team. Hence, the Bull was not left bare. Tony Kukoc is an Hall of Fame player, sir, just in case you didn't know. And the Bulls went on, and in fact, when they got to that playoff against the Knicks, the coach for Chicago Bulls gave Tony Kukoc the last shot in that game when they were down 2. So that tells you that the team was still stacked even without Michael Jordan. When LeBron James would have left Miami, when he leave Miami, we saw Chris Bosh got injured. We saw Dwayne Wade got injured. So
all right, Vincent. All right, that is your 3 minutes. The judge is going to have a really tough time on this one. But let me tell you, for those persons who are just coming in, Thank you very much. If you can like and subscribe, we'll definitely appreciate that. But right now, we're going to move on to our next section. This is where Mr. Zidane and Mr. Irvin will go ahead and ask each other 3 questions. Whatever question it is, you have 2 minutes to answer such question.
Will the questions be asked alternately or just read out 3 questions?
No, alternatively. So you ask a question, then Vincent, then you ask again, then Vincent. You ask again, then Vincent. So, Mr. Zidane, you could go ahead with your first question for Mr. Irvin.
All right. The question will point out the flaw in using awards given by journalists, by Michael Jordan disciples to determine who is greater. I'm going to ask Vinny to answer the question. Who is a greater basketball player? And is it close? Steve Nash or Kobe Bryant?
Who is a greater basketball player?
Yes, Steve Nash or Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant is a greater basketball player.
When Steve Nash was awarded 2 MVPs by the people who award Michael Jordan MVPs, and Kobe would have only won 1. And it's not close.
So let me, all right, so you asked me the question, so let me respond to your question.
Yes, I'm bringing up awards.
Who is a greater player? When I list out my awards, there are 5 awards that I point out that are very meaningful in basketball. Finals MVP, championship, league MVP, defensive player of the year, rookie of the year. Those awards are the awards. Kobe Bryant leads Steve Nash by a wide margin in those awards, and it is not even close. So to answer your question, sir, awards is given, but it is given to players and to persons who have done well and who do well. Steve Nash has been.
Hold on, Zidane. Hold on, make him answer. Hold on, Zidane.
Steve Nash has won 2 MVP. That is a fact, based on the team and based on how he was playing. Yes, Kobe might not have won those MVP, and I believe that he's one-time MVP or something like that in the league. But when you look at the overall award that has been won by Kobe, Steve Nash is not even close. So awards does matter. And like I said in my opening statement, it is not any one criteria that will determine who is the greatest player in any sport. It has to be a series of criteria, or else we wouldn't be here.
All right. Thank you very much, Vincent, for that response. Now, Vincent, it is your time to go ahead and ask Mr. Zidane your question, in which Mr. Zidane has 2 minutes in which to answer that question.
I'll probably just follow up on the question that Zidane asks. In every sport, awards, accolades, honors are given out to players based on how they play in every sport. How can you say a player is rated as the greatest player in a sport when that player has not or is not the leader in terms of winning all these awards? And I point to Lebron James. How do you say this player is not the great? I have listened to, and let me just add this to it. I've listened to Zidane talk about greatest football player of all time, and he lists the awards that these players would have won that makes them great. So how are you arguing basketball now and determine that a player who has less award is great? I need you to explain to us what makes this player not being great.
Stick to the mood, my opponent. Let's not talk about football. Let's not get desperate here. Stick to the mood. Lebron versus Michael Jordan.
That's not being desperate. That's not being desperate.
Yes, this is a debate between Lebron versus Michael Jordan, at what Zidane said in another platform. So we're discussing Lebron versus Michael. And again,
but remember, my question is about award.
Judges, awards are given, and it can be very flawed because it's human beings and they are prone to errors. For example, 1 year LeBron James came second in terms of defensive player of the year to Marc Gasol. Some of the same media person did not vote for Marc Gasol on defensive team of the year. He did not make the first team, while LeBron did. So you cannot bring up media award given to people to be a significant argument as to who is the greatest of all time. LeBron James cannot control what people vote for. What LeBron James can control is ability to rebound, to shoot 3-pointers, to make passes, and to score buckets. That's what LeBron James can control, and that's how you impact basketball games, not by media award. They all have some awards, but to make a media awards being the significant way how to judge the greatest player of all time is flawed. You have to look at what they do on the basketball court. And you have to look at what they do at the highest level. And I notice my opponents don't talk about the playoffs. The highest level of basketball is the playoffs. They are top greatest of all time, so they're going to dominate the regular season. He mentioned that Michael Jordan is the best offensive player. Offense is not only about scoring. Offense is about the combination of getting your teammates involved, getting easy shots for your teammates, and scoring. If you combine points per game, shooting percentage, and assists, then LeBron James beats Michael Jordan as the best offensive player of all time. LeBron James can guard any position better than Michael Jordan because he's so big. I remember in the first NBA finals that Michael Jordan went to, he was being murdered by Magic Johnson because he was too little. They had to send for Scottie Pippen. That could never happen to LeBron James. Magic Johnson can never murder LeBron James. He's too big, he's too strong, he's too athletic. But Michael Jordan couldn't handle him. So they had to go for Pippen. So Michael Jordan being is far greater defender than LeBron James is overrated. It's not a true reflection of how good LeBron James' defense is. The most significant part of how great you are is how long you are great for. And he scoffed at longevity and run into awards given by journalists. Talk about longevity because that's your play. Usually sportsmen in every sport start to go downhill as they get older. LeBron James has dominated from 18 years old to 37 years old. He did not take a break. He didn't take a season off. So all those games under his belt, going deep in the playoffs almost every season, getting to the NBA finals, playing the finals game for 10 seasons straight. And LeBron James this season is up with the best of them leading the lead in scoring. That's how you judge greatness. What the player does on the court. LeBron James has done it for 19 straight seasons.
All right. Zidane, thank you very much for your answer in that 2 minutes. Zidane, now it's your turn to ask Mr. Vincent your second question.
Another question, Mr. Vincent. Who is the greater scorer? Allen Iverson or LeBron James?
Who is a greater scorer? Allen Iverson or LeBron James?
Yes.
I do not know the points that they are now. I do believe, though, that Allen Iverson would have scored a lot more, especially earlier in his career, because he was the main person running for the Philadelphia 76ers at the time. LeBron James would have scored, based on my memory, within the 20s, sometime 25, 23. Probably if you look at the scoring and the output, it wouldn't surprise me if LeBron James is ahead of Allen Iverson. But it's a question that I probably would have to look back at to determine which one of them, in terms of statistical wise, is a greater scorer. In terms of going to the rim, Allen Iverson would have been better at that. Allen Iverson was a slasher, knows how to get to the rim, knows how to shoot. He was not a great jump shooter. That is why even as his career progressed and he get older and he lost his athleticism, you'd have realized that and he doesn't get to the rim as often as he can, that his scoring would have come down. So he was not as great a jump shooter. LeBron James, throughout the years, I will give him this, has become a better jump shooter than he was in the initial stage. So if you look at everything overall, it wouldn't surprise me at this stage if LeBron James is probably ahead of Allen Iverson in terms of a scorer.
Yes, but Allen Iverson, the point I'm making is that Allen Iverson would have won more scoring titles, but LeBron James is the greatest scorer. So scoring titles is not the truest or the best way to judge who is the better scorer. It's about your efficiency. Shots, you have to look at shots per game, shooting percentage, and points per game. So while Michael Jordan averages more points per game, he takes more shots per game. You take all the shots for Chicago. They build the offense around him. While LeBron James is a team guy, gets everybody involved, is a great passer. So LeBron James is more efficient as a scorer. That's why LeBron James, you could argue that LeBron James is the better offensive player, which I'm arguing, which I'm telling you. Don't look at scoring titles. Scoring titles is not a true reflection of who is the greatest scorer. Kobe Bryant has more scoring titles than LeBron James. He's not a more efficient scorer than LeBron James. But to use scoring title is very flawed, my boss.
But you're not being truthful, sir, because LeBron James takes about 3 shots less than Michael Jordan throughout his career on average, which means that LeBron, and in fact, on every single team that LeBron James has played in his 19 years, there's only one season where he was not the leading shot taker on that team. So LeBron James has always been a high shooter in his team. He may not. Michael Jordan may take 25 shots, LeBron James 22 shots, and that is what you're going to use to say that he's not a high scorer.
All right. Hold up.
To compare LeBron and Michael, why say LeBron?
Comparing LeBron and Michael,
Michael Jordan takes more shots per game.
All right. Hear what? hear what? That's the second question, Zidane. Time is up. Vincent, now I want you to go ahead and ask Mr. Zidane your second question.
All right. Zidane says that LeBron James can guard all 5 positions. In the 2007 NBA Finals, in the 2013 NBA Finals, 2014 NBA Finals, LeBron James would have played against the Spurs. Tim Duncan gave Miami hell in those 2 finals. Why is it that LeBron James, being the great defender he is, did not guard Tim Duncan in any of those finals?
All right, my opponents, I think you don't understand the essence of the debate. We are comparing LeBron James versus Michael. I never said LeBron James could guard all 5 positions well. I said he could guard.
You did, sir. Mr. Chairman,
right.
can you? Am I wrong, sir?
Hold on. He can guard all 5 positions better than Michael Jordan. So we compare LeBron versus Michael Jordan. So if LeBron is asked to guard Tim Duncan, or Michael Jordan is asked to guard Tim Duncan, because LeBron James is bigger and stronger, he will do a better job. He's better at blocking shots. So we're not saying LeBron James is a great defender.
But he's not. Don't
No,
lie, sir.
I'm not saying LeBron James is a great defender at guarding big men. I'm saying he's better than Michael Jordan at guarding big men.
No, you said get up. No, you just said.
Magic Johnson, let me finish answer the question. Magic Johnson took Michael Jordan to school because Michael Jordan was smaller than him. So Michael Jordan struggled with bigger players. LeBron James, he would not struggle as much as Michael Jordan because he's bigger than Michael Jordan. So that's the point I was making. I never said LeBron James could guard all 5 positions at a great level. I'm saying he could do it better than Michael Jordan because the comparison LeBron versus Michael.
My opponent just made the point.
Hold on, Vincent. So when you ask, listen, Vincent, when you ask Zidane a question, you can't now answer the question.
Okay, all right.
So Zidane is finished with his answer. So now, Zidane, this is your third and final question for Mr. Irving. Go ahead with your third and final question. And the same goes for you, Zidane. When you ask Vincent a question, they can't now answer the question for you. You have to allow him the opportunity to answer.
Mr. Vincent, you don't know who the 4 teammates will be. You don't know if they can shoot. You don't know if they can rebound. You don't know if they can block shot. You don't know if they can pass well. You don't know what they can do. You want a basketball player to play to save your life. Who are you taking? The better rebounder, better passer, more efficient scorer, better blocking shots at the highest level in the playoffs, or the one who does it lesser in the playoffs? Who are you taking?
Are the one who does it lesser in the playoff?
In the playoff is the highest level. So we're going with what they do in the playoff, which is the tougher situation in NBA basketball.
Just that I am clear, we are talking about Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Yeah, I'm asking you which of the 2 you're taking.
I am taking Michael Jordan over LeBron James every day in the playoff. Simple because you have asked your question and I'll answer. My humble opponent is using LeBron James' total score, total rebound, total assist, total block shot to say that he's better. He's using total. Michael Jordan has played 179 playoff game. LeBron James is at least about 245 or 250 at this point in time. Michael Jordan reached in points in 179 games, it took LeBron James 239 career playoff games in order to get there. Michael Jordan, on average, is a better player than LeBron James. What LeBron James has is that because he has maintained his peak over the years, he has scored more. I hear my opponent talking about this player who have all these points and rebounds and assists. Listen to me, LeBron James has 10,000 assists. And of the 10,000 assists, it put him 7th overall in total assists. You know who is 6th? Magic Johnson. You know, Magic Johnson have 10,150. LeBron James have about 10,000 and little bit. Magic Johnson played 13 seasons. LeBron James 19 and counting. When you look at assists per game, LeBron James is ranked about 39. When you look at rebound per game, LeBron James is ranked 190 something. So even though he has 10,000 rebounds in terms of per game, in fact, if you look at against small forward, LeBron James is way down the rank of small forward where rebound is concerned. So if we are talking about performance in the playoff, we have never seen Michael Jordan melt down like LeBron James did in the playoff, and that is what I'll put to my opponent. I am taking Michael Jordan every day, twice on Sunday.
All right. And now, Mr. Vincent, hey, I know the judges backstage right now trembling because they don't know who to pick as the winner. But listen to me. Now, Vincent, this is your last and final question for Mr. Zidane. Go ahead.
Sir Matthews, I want you to tell us which NBA series did Michael Jordan had a meltdown or failed? And I want you to tell us which series, why he failed, and what was those statistics based on the 8 normal standard statistics that the league called.
All right, I've never seen Michael Jordan failing in terms of his performance, because you're not talking about the team now, you're talking about LeBron
As a
James.
player, right, not the team.
Yeah. So you come right round to me now talking about the player and what they do and not what the team would have done. All right, so Michael Jordan would have never met down like LeBron James did in 2011. But Kevin Durant has never been met down like LeBron James did in 2011. Either you're telling me that Kevin Durant is a greater player than LeBron James? No. Stop using instances to judge careers. We're discussing who has had the greater career. LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Not who met down one time. Because while Michael Jordan never met down the way LeBron James did in 2011, Michael Jordan did not have a series in the NBA Finals like LeBron James did in 2016. The first player in NBA history to average the most points, most rebounds, most assists, most shot block on both teams combined. That's what LeBron James did in 2000. It was the greatest comeback in history. It was the single most dominant performance in the history of an NBA Finals. It has never been done. A player averaging the most points, rebound, assists, blocks, and steals on both teams in an NBA Final. That is why I'm saying to you, in the playoffs at the highest level, you keep on combining regular season and everything. Let's take it to the highest level. We know they are great. In the playoffs, statistically, per game and overall, LeBron James is better.
That is not true, sir, and I cannot sit here and allow you to say that when that is not true. And I ask the persons to go and look at the statistics, because that is not true.
Hold up, Vincent. Hold up, sir. All right. So Mr. Zidane is finished with his response. Judges, I want you to get yourself ready. We're not going to bring it on yet, but get yourself prepared. Put on back your shirt and put on your pants and get ready to come on screen. But guys, I'm going to give Vincent, obviously I'm going to start with you, since Zidane did his opening statement first. I'm going to let you do your closing argument first. But before, guys who are in the chat, please like and subscribe, to what we have going on, because we're going to have a lot more of this coming. So Vincent, you now have 90 seconds, 1 minute and 30 seconds to wrap up everything and to let the viewers know, let the judges know, let me know, let the world know why Michael Jordan is greater than LeBron James. And your minute and 30 starts right now.
Again, I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that there is no one thing that determines a player as being the greatest in his sport. No one thing. So when you look at the criteria, longevity, yes, that's LeBron James. Championship, without a doubt, Michael Jordan. When you look at accomplishment, listen to me, there are 5 things in the NBA that is looked at in terms of award, the 5 biggest accolades in NBA. The NBA title, finals MVP, league MVP, defensive player of the year, scoring titles. Of those 5 things, 4 players have won. No players ever won all 5 in a year, and only 4 players has ever won 4 of those 5 in any one year. Shaquille did it once, Hakeem did it once, Kareem did it once. Michael Jordan did it 4 times. That is how impactful Michael Jordan was when he played the game. He impacted all aspects of the game. So accomplishment, Michael Jordan. When you look at statistics, in every statistic, whether traditional or whether you look at it from the statistical that these persons put together, Michael Jordan is ahead. When you look at his tenacity, my opponent talk about meltdown. LeBron James meltdown in an NBA Finals where he had Dwayne Wade, who is top 75 player, where he had Chris Bosh, an Hall of Famer. LeBron James meltdown, scoring 8 points, while JJ Barria was guarding him. 8 points in an NBA Finals, and then he's going to say you can't look at NBA Finals. This man has meltdown. This man scored in 2007 Finals 14 points in Game 1. That is the player that we are guarding. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player the world has ever seen. I rest my case.
All right. Thank you, Vincent. And judges, get ready. Judges, get ready because I'm going to call on you and then you're going to let us know who is the winner and why they are the winner. Zidane, you now have 90 seconds now in order to change everybody's mind or to confirm that you are the winner of this debate. Can you please let us know why LeBron James is greater than Michael Jordan?
Judges, I never said NBA finals must not count. I'm saying one instant doesn't determine a career. When you're judging who is the greatest of all time, you're judging their careers. And I'm saying while LeBron James had a meltdown in 2011, he had something that Michael Jordan never had in 2016. That dominance, we have never seen it before. That sort of comeback, we have never seen it before. LeBron James did it. He was the most dominant performer in NBA, in any one NBA finals ever, right across the board. My opponent. You're talking about accomplishments. And your accomplishments are awards that are being given out by people like you, emotional Michael Jordan supporters. LeBron James cannot control what is given. LeBron James can control what he does. Give me some accomplishment. They talk about Shaq doing this and Chamberlain doing this and Michael Jordan did 4 times. At least person did it. LeBron James is the only man in history to have 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. Nobody else has done it. That's dominance. He's the only man in history to have 30,000 points, 8,000 rebounds, 8,000. Nobody else has done it. He has the most 30 points game in playoffs history. Nobody else has done it. That's accomplishments as well. So you can't conveniently pick up an accomplishment that people give you. LeBron James earned his accomplishments. It's not given to him by media. We know Michael Jordan is the most loved basketball players of all time because what he did and how he did it, we never saw it before and everybody gravitated. We see everybody now flying over people. When he was flying over people, it was rare and television came and the world started to see Michael Jordan. So we love him. But if you're objective and talking about real accomplishment that is earned by the player, not given to him by media people, we're talking about LeBron James. Most points in the playoffs, more points in the playoffs than Michael Jordan. More rebounds, more assists, more steals, more blocks in the playoffs. He has more everything in the playoffs. LeBron James tonight supposed to pass Karl Malone for the second most points in NBA history. He earned that. It wasn't given to him by any media people. Stop telling me about awards given by media people.
All right.
LeBron James is the greatest of all time.
All right, Zidane. Wonderful. Hey, Zidane, just to let you know, yeah, LeBron already passed Karl Malone. But listen, hey, Vincent, Zidane, I really thank you guys for coming out here, putting on a show for the people in the comment section, for the people watching. You know, I get a couple of texts here that, hey, the debate is hot. You know, so I wouldn't want to be the judges right now. So I'm going to bring all our 5 judges back on the screen, and then we'll ask each of them individually who won, why they won, and you know what they thought about the debate, definitely. So, you know, Miguel is back, Cream is back, Devin is back, VJ is back, and Mr. Theo is back. All right. So, guys, what we thought about the debate? What we thought about it?
It's hot.
It's all right.
Intense.
All right. So, Devin, the all-rounder, I'm going to start with you. I want you to tell us, Devin, who won the debate for you and tell us exactly why they won the debate.
All right. So, wonderful debate. So, I look at it, I look at based on the different areas. The opening statement, the rebuttal, your questions, closing argument, right?
Yeah.
So those are the areas. So before I just quickly go through that and tell you whatever, overall, just 2 points that I think both opponents could have made. Like for Zidane made a good point about team and MJ had the better team. So a point I was looking for Zidane to mention is that you see in the finals that they talk about 6-0, every time in the finals, right? MJ team always started as favorite. Brand team never started as favorite. Yeah. So I was just looking for that point. Like for Vinny, he kept mentioning about the rebound and whatever. So the different areas. So I look for him like to write home the point, like based on the position, it is expected for Brand to have more rebound.
Yes.
And like for the better team, that's even though he's a better team, he still had more points. So anyway, so overall now, for the opening statement, I'll give that to Vinny.
All right.
So Vinny gave more areas. Zidane was just lamenting the old fact of impact, and okay. Vinny mentioned the longevity, championship, the tenacity, accomplishment, and statistics. All right. For the rebuttal now, Zidane Zidane eliminate the championship argument out of Zidane's 6 criteria because he eliminate also the accomplishment. He did a better job of eliminating those areas to say that, okay, they were flawed. And then the impact aspect you mentioned with that. So for the rebuttal, he can't, even though Vinny had a better opening statement, Zidane kind of threw out some of those criteria that Vinny mentioned. So I'll give that to Zidane for the rebuttal. For the questions that Zidane asked, Zidane was very strategic in asking those questions to say, all right, for the awards, and he kind of like, in my estimation, kind of set up Zidane to ask him certain questions and to bring him back his point where he's dispelling the whole aspect of awards and asking in terms of like guarding by better position. So out of the 3 questions, I'll say Zidane won 2 out of the 3. The final question, even though Zidane was trying to dispel the whole aspect of series and meltdown, I'll give that to Vinny. So overall, for the questions overall and the rebuttal, Zidane 2. And for the closing arguments, right?
Yep.
Real accomplishments versus what other accomplishment mentioned. I like Zidane's final argument. Great debate, both of them. So overall, I'll give it to Zidane based on those aspects.
All right. So we have our first answer, first comment, and Devin is saying that Zidane is the winner of the debate. Wonderful. Now, let me move on to Mr. VJ. VJ, come forward. Tell us who won the debate. And, if you want to break it down like Devin, you can. If you just want to tell us, hey, this person win, and this is why they won. Can you just go ahead?
Okay, so, gentlemen, both of you did a great job on the debate, debating both sides. Going into it, I was thinking, we all have our own biases, but I was open to hear both of the arguments, and both of you guys present a great argument. I think it was very neck and neck. I really like the rebuttals. I really liked really opening statements, with the statistics, or you bring in, the facts. You're not making any feelings or anything coming into your argument. It's just straight statistics you're listing out. I really enjoyed that opening statement. Something that I think knocked the person debating for not Michael Jordan, for Lebron, is he stated two things that knocked off some points. One was Vinny pointed out that when he was talking about football, he brings up the awards, but no, just because the debate doesn't fit his narrative for this comparison, the awards doesn't matter as much in this debate. And he made a statement that Lebron is a leading point per game in the playoffs, which is incorrect. When I just did a fact check, and I don't know if anyone can look it up themselves, but Lebron is actually 6th in point per game in the playoffs. Not even second, not even top 5. And the leader is Michael Jordan. That, stating an incorrect fact in a debate, I think it severely knocks off a few points off of it. So my winner for the debate is Vinny because of that. That was one of the main reasons I used.
All right. What I really love about these judges is that these judges is not just jumping up and saying, oh, well, they're actually giving us some details as to what made their decision. And I see some people in the comment section talking about they're going to battle Devin. So Devin, ensure you be careful when you're in the streets. So we have one for Devin, and we have one for Devin, one for Zidane, and one for Vinny. Now I'm going to move on to Mr. Cream. Mr. Cream, can you now unmute your mic? Let us know who won the debate and why did they win the debate.
Okay. Great debate, Vinny and Zidane. Great debate. I wish we had a standard criteria in which they were debating to, because from my perspective, it seems Zidane wanted to focus on the skill set of Lebron and what he has done with that skill set on the court, excluding awards and.
Well, listen, Cream. My thing is, when you're debating who is greater, I don't think you need to put any particular criteria. if you believe someone is great at a particular thing, then you use that to your advantage and argue that as best as possible. And I believe that is what Zidane tried to do, and that is what Vinny tried to do. So I never want to narrow it, so we have to be in a small little box. The box is wide open, and you decide what facts is better for you to present the argument. And I think that's what the gentleman did. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, continuing. So, and then I think Vinny more spoke to the skill set and what was accomplished with that skill set as well, which I do think is very important. But for the basis of this argument, I think what Zidane put forward, he was able to more drive home his points about it being strictly between LeBron versus MJ and what they did on the court. So for me, I would give the nod to Zidane.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So now we have Zidane 2. Oh, man. And we have Zidane 2 and Vinny 1. And, for one judge, fact-checking is important. For another one, driving home your point is important. For another one, the rebuttal and the closing argument is important. So now we're going to move on now to Mr. Miguel, right? Mr. Miguel, I want you to come forward and tell us who is the winner of the debate and why. And now, listen, gentlemen, if Mr. Miguel chooses Zidane, then Zidane will be the champion of our first NBA debate. If he doesn't, then it will be up to Mr. Teal. So, Miguel, the pressure is on you, but the pressure is not really on you. So go ahead, boss, and let us know.
All right. First of all, thanks for having me. The debate was really, really good. I liked it. I definitely heard some points that I must be honest, I never thought of. I've argued LeBron versus MJ before several times, and in instances in the past, I've leaned towards MJ, and then in present times, I've leaned towards Bron, and it's always been sort of a back and forth thing. I actually had a little scoring thing going on over here.
All right, I love that. Absolutely.
So I was taking notes and whatnot. So you had four, I guess, categories or whatever. You had the introduction, you had the rebuttal, you had the questions and the closing. For the introduction, Vincent definitely did a good job in terms of, starting the situation off well, hitting us with facts. I like what I was hearing in terms of numbers and the categories and the breakdown and stuff like that. So by a mile, Vincent won that first category very, very easy. I think Zidane did a good job in terms of rebutting to those facts that were put forward, though. What I really liked the most, what I really liked the most was that he made a very interesting point where when you look at the league MVP award, it really is a voting prospect, and it's just a matter of what those guys feel like should be the person that should win. It's not always an indicator of the person that has played the best for that season. If you look at, I think it was the last season where Corey was in the running, and he had a lot of argument about him not having a team that was even in the top 8. How is even a factor for MVP race? So different things like that. I really like how Zidane put those points forward. The question and answer session, I think Zidane asked some really unique questions that were specifically done to set Vincent up, and I think Vincent never catch Rick quick enough to really steady the ship. So for those two sections, Zidane really did well in terms of positioning his arguments in such a way that, even if you wanted to be an MJ aficionado, you had to give LeBron his due based on what Zidane was saying. Vijay did highlight something which I didn't catch, and it does put a damp on the arguments that Zidane has made in terms of not actually fact-checking and making sure that what you're presenting on the table, and this is a debate, facts have to count for something. It has to be important. That does take off marks for me where Zidane is concerned. However, I don't think it takes off enough to do enough damage, for this particular debate. And if I was just going off the arguments presented by both persons, I would have to say that Zidane won.
All right, so then another person, Mr. Miguel, went ahead and he chose Zidane as the winner. So now it is 3 persons for Zidane and 1 for Vincent. Mr. Teal, can you now come on and probably turn on your camera, first of all, and turn on your audio as well. And I want you know, Mr. Theo, to let us know who do you think won the debate, right? And why do you think they won the debate?
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening.
When I see you, Theo, ladies in the comment section want to see your handsome face, boss.
My video is on.
I'm
It's not on?
not sure. I'm not see, but anyway, go ahead.
Yes. As I was saying, I'm going to have to go with Vinny on this one. I'm not real. For those who picked Vinny, they echoed some of what I wanted to say, but they said rather what some of what I wanted to say. So I won't bother echoing that. I'll just touch on some other points.
All right.
First things first. Vinny was more. He did a better job of looking at this argument from different areas. He didn't just narrow it down to certain things to suit his argument. He did a better job of, having more criteria in his argument, even though he knew that those said criteria could potentially come back to bite him in the rebuttal round. He wasn't afraid to be more open with that. And you could also push back on that and say, well, that's the point of the debate to lean towards what works best for you. But at the end of the day, facts are the facts. So you have to do a good job of presenting the facts. And I believe he did a better job of presenting the facts. That's one. Secondly, he did a good job of knifing through the age-old argument for those who are pro LeBron, which is the counting statistics, which obviously will be better because he's played longer. He did a better job of pointing out the fact that MJ acquired more accolades and did more winning even in a shorter space of time, which was very key in my opinion. Even though Zidane originally refuted that, it inevitably came back to bite him because he wanted to throw that out, even though he had originally started to talk about some of LeBron's accolades. Also, Vinny did a good job of breaking into the steals per game argument that he brought forward, that LeBron is a guard. So not LeBron, MJ is a guard, so it's easier for him to steal the ball. But if you look at it all time, MJ has averaged more blocks per game than MJ, even though it's not by a wide margin. But Vinny did a good job of breaking down that defense is more than just steals and blocks. He did a good job of knifing into that argument as well. And lastly, the reason why I went with Vinny is I believe during the rebuttal stages and the rebuttal stage and the closing argument stage rather, he kept his cool a bit more and was able to navigate the curveballs that Zidane threw at him. Yeah, one or two tripped him up a bit, but I believe he handled those segments a bit better than Zidane did.
Okay. All right, Mr. Theo. Thank you very much. Hey, Lebron, I'm going to get in really quickly, but thank you very much for all the persons in the comment section. Thank you, judges. So the final is Zidane got 3 votes from Kareem, who is a big MJ fan, Devin, who is probably even a bigger MJ fan, and Miguel, who, as he said, he don't know who he is. He used to think MJ, now he thinks LeBron. So for those in the comment section who are saying it's bias, if I had a vote, my vote would have got to Vincent, based on what he presented and the fact check business and all of that. I would have voted for Vincent, but I am just a poor little host. I have no vote, and LeBron is my player. But, sometimes in life, just like how LeBron never won that Defensive Player of the Year, that doesn't mean that he's not the winner. So, Vincent, you can hold your head high and think that you're the winner today. But Zidane, I'm sure he will come from KLAS, come over to Sports Frenzzyy, and come and grab the title. So, congratulations, Vincent, and congratulations, Zidane. Lebron wants to say something really quickly. Go ahead, boss.
All right, good night, gentlemen, to the debaters and the judges. So, all right, first markdown. You cannot come to a debate and produce false information. You have to get marked down for that. And also, Zidane mentioned an argument
that he himself later on said that he did not say that when Vincent brought it up. So you have to mark him down for that as well. And another thing that you have to mark him down for, Zidane right through it when Vinny draw for the football analogy. Immediately Zidane said, "Boss, don't bring that in. We are debating MJ and LeBron." Yet still, he went on to use other players to echo his points. You cannot do that. Now, in regards to Vinny failed to drive home his points. He kept on sticking to the stats while Zidane go around him. That's basically what he did with the comment section. In terms of the question and answer, he went around him and tied up Vincent. And Vincent was slow to respond and never get his answer through. So you have to mark down for those things.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Levon, if you were to be a judge, who would you give it to then?
Vincent, because he drove home his point more.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, all right, thank you, Lebron. As I said, Vincent would have been my winner, but I thought it was an outstanding debate. I knew exactly what, and a lot of persons in the comment section was saying that, hey, Zidane is setting up Vincent. So, and I guess Vincent caught on to it late. I don't know what it was, but hey, it was a fantastic debate. Thank you, everyone. Like, share, subscribe. Lebron now is tied with the Washington Wizards, so I'm going to watch that now and see if we can stay in the playing hunt. But thank you, guys. It was a wonderful debate. You guys have a great night. Huh?
All right, good.
Yes.
All right.
All right, have a great night.